What's going on, guys? Welcome to Formula 7 Racing. I'm going to jump into a penalty because I can see that I'm not in well. Oh, that was a bit stressful. Right, bear with me. I don't know why somebody keeps commenting saying game's gone. Right, there we go. So it's shouldn't. What do you mean Park Fermi isn't on? Should automatically be on now. Oh yeah. Oh sorry guys. Right, there we have it. Full grid for this evening's race. Let me get everything up. I'm not even set up. It was sort of all chucked at me last minute. 1 second. Twitch. I've not even got the chat up or anything. You know what? I don't know what it is, but tier 1 is just so stressful to set up. Like, really stressful. Like, it's the only division where everybody joins at the very last minute. Well, the majority of drivers will join at the very last minute, or they'll wait till like 6:59 or 7:02 to say, "Can I get an invite?" And it's just a nightmare trying to set it up. And then we always start late, and then people moan as well in the chat. Right, it's stressful. No, not when you're an Alvaro. You were there, ready and waiting. There's a few ready and waiting, to be honest. Yeah, exactly, Jeffrey. When I joined in tier 3, Jesus, we had a full lobby at 1:45. No, I'm just kidding. Let's go Han Solo. So we are in the race. Malk 112.8, Tojo 113.3, and Mitch in the Ferraris on an outlap. I think he's gone out without a setup, but I might be wrong. But what's going on, everybody? What's going on, Jeremy? Bjorn, how we doing, Alvaro? Jeffy, Han Solo, Mad G, Nick, Jew, how we doing, all? So Asbel in the Red Bull has gone fastest here in Spain. And if Mitch hasn't got a setup, he might find this really hard evening of racing. Mitch in the Ferrari. What about Twitch Caxel and AE Cryptic? We've got Ryan Clemenson as well. The reason that we've got Alvaro in the Haas and Mitch in the Ferrari, I will just swap them around on the database. Absolutely fine. It's not an issue at all. Just because Alvaro stayed out of a car until the lobby started, and then it automatically put him in a car or whatever. And Mitch didn't join until late, so all good. I can just switch him around on the database. So yeah, no problem at all. Yeah, good, Jeremy. I'm really good, mate. I hope everybody in the chat is doing well. Don't think I'll make it out of Q1. You never know, Chodge. I know that I was going to see if there was a spare seat because I know Buy Me Back was wanting to race as well. But obviously, yeah, we've got a lot of people wanting to race in Tier 1 this evening. So Ryan Clemenson, AE Cryptic didn't settle that time. He's in the pit lane. So Caxel got into Q3 last week in Bahrain. I think it was Belgium, sorry. And he goes fastest, a 112.5. Twitch Caxel. He's been putting in the hours of practice. Here's Jeffy Boy with the slipstream on his teammate. So the Sauber's already working together in Q1. Oh, and he just slides it around there, around turn 12 at the Sabadell corner. So Jeffy Boy goes up to P4. Power Chuan comes through to start his flying lap, and now he'll get a bit of a slipstream from his teammate. He'll move out the way. Very nicely done indeed from the two Kick Sauber drivers. fanners going on into us. What is the weather update? Just simply lovely. So, in towards turn 4 at Ripoll. Full grid, yeah, we've pretty much had a full grid in Tier 1 every race this season. A couple of none, but yeah, Tier 1's really looking really good at the moment. Obviously, we still have quite a lot of reserves in Tier 1 because of holidays and stuff. Oh, and he's run it wide. Power, Chuan. Too much on the power. Chuan. So he goes out wide. Fanos. And with the click of his fingers, he is going to be on a lap, but not on the intermediates. All drive from Mario. Let's go. I really thought we was going to see rain. So, Fanos back into the pit. So he's just setting an outlap on the intermediates. Alvaro Chabas is on an outlap. Ryan Dapavine in the Papaya McLaren will be next on a lap. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do. Down in towards turn 1 at Elf. And then through the Renault chicane at turn 2. And then it's around the long right-hander. Down towards Ripoll at turn 4. Here at the Catalunya circuit. So in towards the Seat chicane at turn 5 at the hairpin. And a little bit of traffic in front of him of that Kick Sauber. But that will not stop Ryan Dapavine, who's looking really strong at the moment. Yeah, no worries, Fanos. Just make sure to read the rules, that's all, mate, because I'm pretty sure there's a rule about going out on intermediates in dry weather conditions. Right, so Ryan Dapavine around Sabadell at turn 12, down towards Europcar at turn 13, in towards New Holland at turn 14, and then this is where the DRS will kick in just before the line, and Ryan Dapavine goes fastest at 1:12.5. Fanos, no, there's a rule against going out on intermediate tyres. I know you didn't know, don't even worry, mate, you're all good. You're all good. It's just to stop incidents and stuff like that. So Ryan Dapavine goes fastest. Matteo Ravazza in the Red Bull, currently in P20. I've got all the telemetries disabled. So let's see if the Red Bull driver can improve as he goes down towards Lakaxa at turn 10 at the left-hander. And it is, you've got to be so careful trying to get your foot down coming out of turn 10 so the back end doesn't spin and you don't lose the rear. So in towards New Holland at turn 14. And then down towards the line, he'll empty the battery tank now. And he goes fastest. Matteo Ravazza in to P1 in Q1 with 8 minutes to go. Fanfnis in the Ferrari is also on the lap. What about B-Right, the 3-time world champion? Purple, sector 2. Gravy, it looks cloudy. It looks like it's going to rain. But apparently it's a full dry race, which is not what I expected after rain in Tier 3 and Tier 2. B-Right to the line. B-Right goes fastest, and the two Aston Martins are 1-2 in Q1. Fanfnis in the Ferrari. We do have a Kick Sauber coming through as well. Lewis W in the Alpine. Mitch, who we know has got pace, has not got a setup on. I might even, we've had this a few times, Fanfnis goes quickest, a 1:12.111. But yeah, Parc Fermé, so annoying. Banana in the Alpine goes purple, sector 1. What about Lewis W, his teammate? He's got a Williams in front of him, maybe just getting a bit of that dirty air. He is, he's just backing out, ready to go for a flying lap. No, into the pit lane he goes. Reese is just pulling on the grass to the side, needs to be careful. And he does move out the way for the Aston Martin driver. And Fanos in the Williams just started his lap, but we'll go on board with Banana as he skids on a banana skin right round the Alpine. And is his lap over. We'll drop on board onto Fanos. The Greek driver in the Williams, his teammate Ravazza in the other Williams, still in the pit lane as we come around Ripoll down towards the Seat chicane at turn 5. And then we can go to the bottom of the hill at turn 7 and 8, and then just easing onto the throttle for Thanos around turn 9 at Kamsa, and then the DRS will kick in as we head down towards Lakaxa at turn 10 into the left-hander. And then he just, and you can see this snap, you can see the drivers constantly struggling to just get their foot down, and the control of that Formula One vehicle. You've got to be so careful, so tidy. You've got to snap it back as quick as possible down to the line. And Thanos goes up to P5. Only 3 attempts separate the top 5. Ryan Clemenson needs to get back in. Here comes Mitch in the Ferrari, and he will start his flying lap. Banana and Todjo, the McLaren and Todjo, 1:13.3. Banana with a 1:20. Lewis W on a outlap. Asbill up to P8. We will go on board with Mitch in the Ferrari. I don't know if he's on a lap. He isn't, so the Scuderia. So Todjo in the McLaren. I think he is on another lap. Binding back, how we doing, mate? So to the line, and Todjo goes up to P11. So Mitch did back out of his lap. Lewis W and Reese both on outlaps. That would be a shocker to see some of the names like that. I'm alright, mate, I'm alright. So, the Mercedes of Reese and B. Wright retires here in Q1. Ryan Clemenson is back in. I hope we're not having any problems with the lobby. We shouldn't be. Absolutely shouldn't be at all. So, Game of Matteo in the Racing Bull. Yeah, it was great, mate. I enjoyed it. So, Asbill in the Racing Bull going into the pit lane. So is Thanos, follows him in. Just taking out the bollards there. Han Solo, love it. Thank you, mate. So the Alpine of Lewis W down in towards turn 5 at the Seat chicane into the hairpin, and you can see the apex that he's using to the right hand side as he goes to the bottom of the hill, and then up through turn 7 and 8, gets his foot down, little snap over the sausage curb there into the right hander at Kamsa, and this is where he wants to get his foot down. DRS enabled, ERS is on as he just burns a little bit of that battery down in towards Lakaxa at turn 10 at the left-handed hairpin, and then this is where he doesn't want to snap the rears. If you don't snap the rears and you can get the foot down, you have mastered sector 3, and that's where you will make up all your time. But he does it again, he loses the rears down in towards Europcar at turn 13, in towards New Holland at turn 14, and then we'll get a short run up to the line. He'll empty the tank, the DRS will open, and Lewis goes up to P9. Will that be enough to get him through to Q2? Reese has gone purple sector 2 in the Mercedes as he comes around towards turn 13 at Europcar now, and this is where you just want to go flat out towards turn 14 at New Holland, and then down towards the line. The Mercedes of Reese to the line goes fastest in Q1. 3.5 minutes remaining. AE Cryptic, Alvaro Chabas in the bottom 5. So is Banana, Game of Matteo, Mitch and Rafasi. Oh, in the bottom 5. Cryptic is the man at risk, and he is on his way out on an outlet. Game of Matteo is also out in the Racing Bull. It'll be interesting to see what the drivers can do. Honestly, as well, I've spent all afternoon, after Tier 2, putting all these new logos into the system and everything, so it should look a lot better now. Rafasi, I don't think I've got you down in the system. Let me just check. If you can comment in the chat, I don't know if you're on a lap or not, just let me know what country you're from, mate, so I can put your flag on. But yeah, I've spent all afternoon updating loads of stuff with the system. And the other app that have Nimble updates, I've just updated a bit of that as well. So yeah, Nimble updates all of that so you guys can still look at it on your phones, which is so cool from him. Han Solo, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Yeah, if I can get... I will just put European Union for now until I get it. And then it's category tier. He's a tier 2 driver, isn't he? And then PC. So, So, Reese retires. So, Gamer Matteo in the Racing Bull, Cryptic in the Red Bull. So, Cryptic is slightly improving, but that slight bit of improvement will be enough to get him in front of Jeffy Boy. So, the Red Bull and the Kick Sauber are definitely the drivers at risk here. They need to find something. Hey, Cryptic comes on, keeps it valid. Cryptic to the line, and he only goes in front of Jeffy Boy with 1:20 to go. Jeffy Boy is on an outlap. He's got Power Twan behind him. Gamer Matteo in the V-carb. He's coming around, and the back end slips. Will that be it for Gamer Matteo? He makes a slight mistake, and that might be very, very costly indeed. In towards turn 10 we go. So around turn 12 and down towards turn 13 at Europcar. Where is Gamer Matteo gonna put this V-carb as we go down towards the line? Has he done enough? He has done enough. Up to P9. That pushes Jeffy Boy out. That means AE Cryptic is the driver at risk. Alvaro Chabassa's gone purple sector 1. Mitch is on an outlap. Banana's on an outlap. Ravasi is also on a flying lap, but Alvaro will be first just in front of Ravasi. I think he is. Jeffy Boy in the Sauber just starting his flying lap. Cryptic is on his way round. He's not improving. He's got an Alpine just behind him as well. I think that's Lewis W on an outlap. We've got Todjo and Mauk. A tier 3 and tier 2 driver into Q2 at the moment. Fanfinus retires. So Todjo in the McLaren. Cryptic is into the pit lane. Cryptic can do no more. If there's any improvement from the drivers behind, Cryptic will be out in Q1. Here comes Alvaro Chabas. He's 2 tenths up. He is improving. Is it going to be enough? Is he going to find the extra tenth through sector 3? The tier 2 driver, the tier 3 world champion, down to the line. And Alvaro goes P16. Jeffy Boy will be next. Ravasi will be first though. Ravasi in the Williams to the line. Ravasi goes P17. It's just not enough. I know, Cryptic, I know. You might actually scrape your way through here. This is unbelievable. Here comes Banana. Here comes Mitch in the Ferrari. So Banana will be first in the Alpine. Down towards turn 10. All the other drivers are hitting the line. Powertran, Lewis W, Gamer Matteo are all through. They do not need to improve. But just to put it out there, he does improve. And Banana. And Cryptic is out. Cryptic is out. Who has just improved there? Rafazza went to P18. Banana's coming to the line. Banana is out. Mitch in the Ferrari. Todjo is through in front of Cryptic. Here comes the Ferrari of Mitch around turn 14. Down to the line and Mitch goes through. Mitch has scraped through. Todjo is out. Is the stream laggy? If it is, sometimes it is a little bit laggy, it is a little bit blurry, and I just have to restart the stream, that's all. But that's only ever, like, rarely it does that. So if there is an issue, just let me know. Because it is on an Ethernet wired connection as well, so it should be alright. So, Todjo, Cryptic, Alvaro, Rafasi, and Banana is out. So, into Q1, and sorry guys, I do like going through this, but I need to get them into the system. So, Reese is fastest in Q1, then Fanfinus in the Ferrari, B-Right in the Aston Martin, P4 is Matteo Ravazza. Oh, I've not got Matteo Ravazza. Sorry, bear with me guys, do apologise, but I need to make sure that I collect all the data. Matteo Ravazza. And he is Italian on PC. Okie dokie. And he is on PC. Beautiful. Add him on. And then the race. So you got Matteo Ravazza in P4. Who was in the McLaren in P5? Ugh. Who was in the McLaren? Ryan Darpavine was in the McLaren. Then Ryan Clemenson, Fanos, Asbel, Jeffy Boy, Malk, the Mercedes of Caxel, Gamer Matteo, Lewis W, Powertran, Mitch, Todjo, the Red Bull of AE Cryptic. Then you had Alvaro Chabas in the Haas, then the Williams in P19. Who was that? Rafasa. I don't think I've got Rafasa either. I'm pretty sure I just added him on, no? I'm sure it started Rafasa. Was the Williams Rafasa? Matteo was P5. Matteo, oh, yeah, that's who I'm missing. I'm missing Matteo. So, who was the other McLaren? Todd Joe, but Ryan Dipavine was in. Wait. Sorry, bear with me. I just want to make sure it's right, that's all. Rafasa. Right, Rafasa is in the Williams, that's fine. Gamer Matteo is in the Racing Bull. Yeah, he's in the Racing Bull. And then you had... Yeah, so he's... Oh, so he was in the other Racing Bull. He was in P8, no? No, he ended up P12, that's fine. Todd, Joe, Mitch. Yeah, all good. Got it. Right, let's go. Sorry about that. It gets easier as we go along. Right. I just like to make sure that we collect all the data for you guys. So, all the drivers are on out laps. It is Mauk in the Haas who is through, and he is on a flying lap. The Haas in towards turn 1 we go. Through Elf and through the Renault chicane around turn 3. And towards the end of sector 2 for the Haas driver, the Dutchman. And he goes purple. Sector 1. The Dutch are dominating at the moment. There was a time that Tier 1 in Formula 7 was predominantly Dutch, along with sort of British drivers. And we had like 6 or 7 Dutch drivers. We're getting to that stage again. We've got Ryan Dipavine, we've got Mauk, we've got Bjorn, we've got Fanfinus, Powertran, I think, as well. We've got a few coming through again. The Dutch drivers, the Dutch are taking over. So Mauk coming around turn 12 at Sabadell, down towards Europe car at turn 13. And then, as you go into the final chicane at turn 14 here in Q2 towards the line of Mauk with a 1:12.9 at the start of this second qualifying session. Asbil will be next. And it is fastest with a 1:12.6. You are absolutely right, Merkel. There is a lot of Italians coming through as well now. So, who is the next driver? That is Gamer Mario. And he goes P2, so it's a 1-2 for VCAR. But for how long as the two kick Saubers are coming through? That is Jeffy Boy off the track. Through goes Powertran. Jeffy Boy is trying to give a tow to Powertran. He's going to move out the way. And through goes Powertran. That's a huge slipstream in towards turn 1. That is massive for Powertran off Jeffy Boy. So the kick Saubers, it's like they've been paired up for ages. They just sort of know each other. Which is great to see, considering Powertran, this is only his second drive as a full-time driver. Oh, a little slip and a slide, a little lock up through there. Oh, and he snaps it again, coming out of the Seat chicane at turn 5. Matteo Ravazza in at P1. Twitch Caxel in P2 in the Mercedes. Here comes Powertran around Kampser at turn 9. The Sauber driver has had a few hiccups, a few mistakes, but it won't worry him too much at the moment with 10.5 minutes to go in this qualifying session. It's when it gets down to the nitty-gritty, the few minutes, the few seconds that there is to spare, and then you're making them mistakes around turn 13, down towards New Holland at turn 14, and towards the line here in Catalonia, and Powertran goes up to P3. Fanos is now on an outlap, and so is Reese. So, let's have a look at the Drivers' Championship for Tier 1. So it is Be Right that leads on 213 points. It is Fanfinus in P2 on 164, and then Reese in P3 on 155. Then comes Mirko on 121, Epic OJ on 114, Jeffy on 104, Dennis on 102. There is still a lot of drivers, considering you get 30 points for a race win. There is a lot of points on offer for these drivers. Mitch is out. Mitch is out in Q2. Mirko, yeah, I know that you know Power Twan already, but it just makes it sound good, you know. Oh, Mirko, thank you so much, man. 510 bits. Really, really appreciate that, Mirko. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you, really appreciate that, man. You know how it just goes a long way. I say it every time, but it really, really does go a long way. Especially at the end of the season when, you know, we're spending £200-300 on sending trophies. It just goes a massive, massive long way, as does every support and help from the drivers. And it's never, we never ask to do any of that, so I appreciate it, really do. So Reese in the Mercedes coming around turn 4, down towards the hairpin at turn 5. Game might feel like, yeah, there's a lot of grip there. It's just getting the car down. Oh, and Reese, it looked like he lost. It looked like he's. I'm saying it looked. It sounded like his car slipped out of gear for a second and he just sort of slowed down. Very interesting. So, here's Reese. And he's also struggling. A few little snaps, but he's just able to correct himself a lot quicker than the rest of them. And then able to sort of just get his foot back down. So the Mercedes driver in towards turn 14. You see how wide he puts that car. And look at the grip through there. And it's only P8 for Reese. So Lewis W has gone purple, sector 1. What about Ryan Clemenson and B Wright? B Wright will be first around turn 14. You can see B Wright, the way that B Wright goes around it. He's gone up to P3. He's holding the car. He's trying to hold it around. Whereas it was just so smooth when Reese went through it. And Ryan Clemenson goes fastest. A 1:12.1 for the Aston Martin. Lewis W as well coming to the line. So is Fanfinus. So yeah, interesting. You can see just by the point of look, even the Ferrari's holding the car. You can see the different setups. And Fanfinus goes fastest, a 1:11.9 here in Q2. Lewis W to the line will be next in the Alpine, out of turn 14. DRS enabled just before you hit it, and it's up to P7. Yeah, you can see how the different setups work with these drivers. Some will have different front wing and rear wing. You can see when the drivers enter the chicanes, whether they're using sort of different types of downforce and stuff. Jeffrey Boy has much more of a smoother entrance into the chicane, and he's up to P9. Ryan Dabavine in the McLaren has gone purple sector 2. He says he's only 1/10 up, so he's either made a huge mistake in sector 3 on his last run, or he's made the same mistake again. I think it's sector 3. Ryan Dabavine to the line, goes P3. What a lap that is. The two Ryans, and it is I don't think Ryan Clemenson is Dutch. Could be though. It could be a Dutch 1, 2, 3 here. Let me check. No, Ryan Clemenson is British. So Jeffy in the Kick Sauber is on the lap, but he's 3 seconds down. So Mitch is the first driver eliminated in Q2. And all the other drivers. Asbill is on an outlap. Reese is on an outlap. I think if you are Reese, you don't want to leave it till the last minute and make a mistake here. Because if you leave it to the last minute and you invalidate it, there's a good chance you're going to be going out in Q2. And Reese will not want that. Remember guys, if you are interested, I will be on comms for PSGL F2 Division tomorrow. Tune in live from 7 on their YouTube channel. And if anybody is looking for any setups, the link is down in the chat, or just put !SRS sim racing setups. So there's a driver that's just scooted on in front of Reese, and that is Fanos Tezanos. Yeah, no worries, Mirko. So around turn 14 we go. Asbill is on the lap already, the Racing Bull driver, down towards turn 5 at the Seat chicane, and the American driver coming up through turn 7 and 8. And then around turn 9 at Campsa, and he's going to get a bit of a slipstream. And it's the Racing Bull. Well done to the Racing Bulls. Great teamwork. He's half a 10 foot now, Asbill. If he carries on like that, he might get in front of Lewis W in the Alpine, potentially even Powertran if he has a good sector free. But we'll see. 3.5 minutes to go. Here comes Asbill around turn 14. This could potentially be his final run. If he's got enough fuel for another one, we'll see. Up to P6. What a sector free that was. And he goes in front of B right. Fanos will be next. He is improving. Reese is slightly improving, but remember, he made the mistake here on the last lap. Coming out of this chicane, this is where he had the snap. He's had another snap. So, Gamer Matteo and Fanos all on laps. Fanos is half a second up. Around turn 14, and the Greek driver comes down towards line, and Fanos goes fastest, but for how long? Reese takes it off him. A 1:11.5 for Reese. And that puts B right on the brink, and Powertran. It puts Lewis W, Jeffy Boy, Gamer Matteo, and Mauk all in the bottom 5 as it stands. Asbill is on a lap. B right is behind him in the Aston Martin. He is also on a lap. Currently, his lap time will put him around P5, where his teammate is. Let's have a look. The two Aston Martins look very strong in the Constructors' Championship. Very smooth through there for B right and up to P3. A lot smoother through there this time around. Asbill in the Racing Bull is well down on his lap time, so there is a driver on a lap, and that is Mario Ravassa. And also Powertran on an out lap. That was Gamer Matteo, goes up to P9. Racing Bull's livery is amazing. I love it. Just that pristine white with the nice little drapes of blue, red and yellow, you know. So, Powertran is on the lap. Let's ride on board. Down in towards the Elf chicane at turn 1. A little slip off the rears through there as we go through in towards turn 2. Around the long right-hander of turn 3, and he'll keep it nice and tight to the chicane. He'll move out to the left-hand side now so he can get a good entrance into Recoil at turn 4. And then he'll just feather the throttle and then back down onto it, pedal down towards the Seat chicane at turn 5. The left-handed hairpin, he'll wait for that grip to feel underneath him and then back onto it, feathering onto that battery just a little bit as we go slightly uphill towards turn 7 and 8. Rides a bit of that curve, probably too much, as we go through Campsa at turn 9. This is a decent lap though. Oh, and he's backed out. Powertran has backed out. He's probably thinking, I need a really good lap here. I cannot afford to make any mistakes. And he has backed out to go again. Ryan Dappavine has retired. Twitch Caxel in the Mercedes. He's just about to start his flying lap. Gamer Matteo will go for one more run, but he'll have less fuel on board, so he is probably going to go quicker than he did previously. Mauk is coming to the line, so is Lewis W as well. Jeffy Boy is coming around sector 3. A minute to go here in Q2. So they are all on laps. Twitch Caxel is not finding that improvement just yet. Powertran was just trying to rebuild that battery to go again. Gamer Matteo is also improving. Twitch Caxel coming out of turn 8 towards turn 9 for the Mercedes driver. Is he going to do enough to get into Q3 once again, like he did last week in Spa-Francorchamps? And Mitch has left the session. He's retired and left the session. So the Mercedes of Twitch Caxel coming around turn 13 and 14. And then down towards the line, the checkered flag has waved, and Twitz-Caxel stays P8. It's not enough. Here comes Gamer Matteo. He is improving, and he's only a tenth behind Twitz-Caxel. Can he find it in the final corners? And he stays in P9. What about the other drivers? We've got a Haas driver. Malk is out. The Alpine of Lewis W. Lewis W goes up to P6. What about Power Twan and Jeffy Boy? Power Twan will be first. That is Asbill that goes out as well. Gamer Matteo is just through at the moment, but you've got two Kick Saubers, and they are coming down to the line. And Power Twan is out. What about Jeffy Boy in the other Kick Sauber? Out of turn 14, down to the line, and Jeffy is out. Both Kick Saubers out in Q2. Wow, so Reese is the fastest in Q2. Then comes Matteo Ravazza, who qualifies in P2. Then B. Wright, Fanos, Fanfordus, Lewis W, Ryan Clemenson. And then in P8 it is Ryan Dijperveen in the McLaren. And then in P9 it is Twitz-Caxel. I've not got that down. Then Gamer Matteo in the top 10. But the bottom 5 going out is Jeffy Boy in P11, Asbill in P12, Malk in P13, Power Twan in P14, and Mitch in P15. So Mitch has gone offline, I think because he didn't get a setup or anything, which will be annoying. It'll be very, very frustrating if he doesn't race, because obviously when somebody joins late, they retire their car and then leave the session before the race, they essentially leave their car ghosted for the whole majority of the race. They've obviously took up a seat for a driver who wanted to race, and so I hope that's not the case. I hope he can get back in. So rain, 1 minute 5 incoming. Is that rain or no? Asbill to tier 1 is trending in the chat. So we have a driver already out, and that is Matteo Ravazza. There will always be some sort of crossover. At the top of tier 3 will sort of cross over into tier 2. The top of tier 2 will cross over into tier 1. It will happen throughout the season as drivers get quicker and so on and so on. So it will happen. The only thing that we can't do is drivers that were slow in the first 6 or 7 races and then start to get better and better and then move them up midway through the season, you know, at round 10 of 20, and then move them up, because it would just be a little bit unfair, wouldn't it? So, but then that's how it's really hard to determine who's sandbagging in the first few weeks and so on. So that's why we sort of go off the pace that they've already got, but we couldn't because of the new game cycle. So Matteo Ravazza will be the first driver in Q3 to take us on a lap. So we ride on board with the Red Bull. In towards turn 1 and 2. So the Red Bull of Matteo Ravazza. Is this his debut? I think this is Matteo Ravazza's debut. I know he's... I think he might have raced before. I'm not sure because I didn't have him down, you see. Yeah. Oh, and he's invalidated it. Matteo Ravazza. Matteo Ravazza has invalidated. Mamma mia. Twitz-Caxel in the Mercedes in towards turn 7 and 8. And no, Twitz-Caxel is not sandbagging, he is just slow. No, I'm just kidding. This is the he is consistently getting into Q3 now, my boy Twitz-Caxel. Get in there. Purple sector 2 for the Mercedes. And then around turn 12. And Twitz-Caxel knows what he's got to do from here. Head down now. And he needs to control this Mercedes as he comes in towards turn 14. You can see the car trying to snap out to the left. And it's a 1:12.9. It won't be getting no pole positions here, but it's a decent banker. B-Right is on an out lap. Ryan Dipavine is on a flying lap. So the McLaren, purple sector 1. Yeah, Jeremy, absolutely. So the Papaya McLaren down towards turn 7. It'll be interesting because there's so many drivers that have got the pace here, and if you make one slight mistake, that could be it. That is the risk that you take at the very, very top. Yellow flag's waving. That'll just be drivers moving out the way. The Mercedes will be moving out the way. So restarts his flying lap, but we are on board with the Dutchman of Ryan Dipavine. Reese has left the session. So out of turn 14, down towards the line, Ryan Dipavine goes fastest. 1:11.8. He is on provisional pole. Lewis W is on a lap. Gaiman Matteo. There's a few drivers coming down towards the line. That is Fanos on a outlap. The Mercedes of Twitch Caxel, I think he's going. He rides the curve. He's going into the pit lane. So there is a Ferrari. That is Fanfinus as well, the other Dutchman. You've already got one Dutchman on pole. Can Fanfinus take it away from him? Yes, he can. A 1:11.7. So it's going the way of Dutch this evening. The two Aston Martins are coming down towards the line. And that is B-Right that splits them up with a 1:11.827. 1/1000th quicker than Ryan Dipavine. Then the Alpine of Lewis W will come to the line, goes up to P4 with a 1:12.5. Gaiman Matteo will be next in the Racing Bull, goes up to P6. He's had a shocker there, so he knows he can improve. Ryan Clemenson on the Aston Martin, Fanos in the Williams are all on laps. Ben lives in Netherlands, you're absolutely right. So Fanos, that McLaren, just trying to move out the way of Ryan Dipavine. So Fanos in the Williams, the Greek driver coming around turn 14 at New Holland, down towards the line we go. Where is the Greek going to put it? And he puts it in P4. Look at that, 2 tenths separate the top 4 at the moment. Ryan Clemenson in the Aston Martin. Is he on a flyer? I think he is. He's just trying to hold it there. 6 minutes remaining here in Q3, down towards the final chicane. And then the Aston Martin will have that short run up to the line, and Ryan Clemenson goes up to P4. And I just need to send Reese an invite. So Matteo Ravazza in the Red Bull will be next. The Italian driver. We have no drivers at the home Grand Prix here in Spain today. We've always run with like 1 or 2 Spanish drivers usually. But none today. The closest we have is Alvaro, who's Portuguese. Matteo Ravazza, a 1:11.7. He's gone P2. This is absolutely outstanding. 2 tenths of a second separate the top 6 drivers here in Q3. Incredible. So hopefully Reese can get back into the lobby and get a lap done before the end of this qualifying session. He's already had a few shocking races. He's had some great results, but oh good, he's already in. But it's cost him dearly, the races that he has had that he hasn't finished. It is really cost him. The reigning, defending, undisputed UFC, no, just the reigning champion of Reese. And he might not be able to make any mistakes now because he's going to have that 1 lap shootout, as Mirko is saying. But he needs to get a move on and get out of the pit lane. Just want to say as well, you guys are absolutely killing it with the racing. And since we started clipping straight from Twitch as well, the socials have blew up, so appreciate it, man. We have 66,000 views on our videos on Instagram last month. That was just on Instagram. We had, what was it, 51,000 on YouTube overall. So 63,000 on Instagram, 51,000 on YouTube, and then TikTok was actually the lowest. We had the lowest views on TikTok. So yeah, absolutely killing it, guys. So thank you, man. Sorry, I've got a bit of a cough. But it's not even about the league or anything. It's about you guys being given a platform to showcase your skills and show what you guys can do, and being able to, you know, show your friends and your family, say, look at this, like this is a clip of me going for an overtake down into bloody, you know, turn one, or you know, showing family members watching your race and being able to view it like that, or just scrolling through TikTok or YouTube and seeing a clip of a race and going, wow, that's amazing, and who was that? And it's Ryan Diperveen. You know, it's about that. It's about the drivers being given a platform to race on. So yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, exactly. Jeffy, mate, I do it all the time. So I had to train 8 new starters last Monday. So I had to do a 2-day induction with them. So I was showing them around the building, and then I had to sit down and do a presentation with them all day. And halfway through the day, I ended up getting the F7 TikTok channel up, showing them all the races and that. I was banging on about it for about half an hour, and I was like, oh, Jesus, better get back to work. I do it all the time. But I did a presentation down in Milton Keynes 2 weeks ago, and I found out that my regional manager is a sim racer as well. He's got a sim rig and everything. Obviously, is unreal, like the neon lights around the base and everything. So yeah, that was pretty cool to find out your regional's got a sim rig. So Game Matteo is back in. I will send a couple more invites to everybody, just so everybody's got one. I think I've got Gamer Matteo as a friend. I haven't. Matteo Ravazzi. I'll just send a couple to you guys, just so he's got one. Yeah, Han Solo, man, it's so cool. What do you do? Gamer Matteo, you're all good, man. You're P7 in Tier 1. You are cooking. So all the drivers are getting ready to go again, and it is a 1-lap shootout for the defending world champion of TF10, Reese. So he's going to put it all down on the line. Here we go. This is it for the end of Q3 here in Tier 1 for the Catalonia Grand Prix here in Spain for Formula 7 racing. Yeah, exactly that, Han Solo, exactly that. So Reese out of turn 14, down to the start-finish line. And Twitch Caxel is just in front of him on a lap. So through turn 1 and 2 we go, on board with Twitch Caxel. Out of turn 3, the long right-hander as we go down towards turn 4 at the start of sector 2. He is 2 tenths up already, Twitch Caxel. He needs to carry on improving like that as we go towards the Seat chicane at turn 5. Hands on that brake pedal, and then we go in towards the chicane, nice and tight to the apex and to the bottom of the hill at turn 7 and 8. Yellow flags are waving. TF10 Reese is just behind him. He's also keeping it valid. Remember, 1-lap shootout for the defending champion. Twitch Caxel around turn 9 at Campsa and down towards turn 10 at Lecaxa. Slamming on them brake pedals, half a second up. Gamer Matteo is out, and he's crashed it going around turn 9, and did that hinder anybody in front? Reese has gone purple sector 2. He's absolutely flying. So the two Mercedes are going to be the first two to the line. The checkered flag has waved. Twitch Caxel will be first. He sets a 1:12.0. And now here comes Reese, the defending champion. He only needs 1 lap. And on 1 lap is all he's going to get. Reese to the line. A 1:11.3 in his provisional pole for the Mercedes driver. Matteo Ravazza has invalidated it. The Ferrari of Fanfness will be next. The Dutchman is also improving, but as he found enough, to the line he goes. Fanfness stays P2, and then the Alpine of Lewis W stays P10, and then we have Fanos in the Williams also finding some sort of improvements. Is he to the line? It's a 1:12, 1:11.9, and then B Right and Ryan Clemenson. B Right to the line goes P3. Wow, that is close. 2 tenths separate the top 3. Yeah, not bad that. Reese being 1 tenth off T4 WRR pole. Mate, some of them esports drivers, man. I was in even like PSGL F2. We did Austria here, and I think Reese qualified on pole with like a 103 something or something like that. Anyway, we did Austria in PSGL on the Monday, the day after, and the guys were like half a second, 6 tenths quicker than our pole time. It was mad. So yeah, unbelievable. But wow, talking about the F7 guys, they are showing some speed here this evening. So Reese takes pole with an incredible 1:11.3 here in Spain. It is Ryan Dijkpaveen that will start on the front row with him. On the second row of the grid is Fanfinis in P3 and then B Right in P4. Let me just write that down. Then we have on the third row of the grid Matteo Ravazza in P5 and Ryan Clemenson in P6. Fanos in the Williams in P7 and then Caxel in the Mercedes in P8. On the fifth row of the grid it's Gamer Matteo in the V-Car in P9 and Lewis W in P10. Here we go. Let's get a prediction up and running. So, this is it. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. The race here in Tier 1. Fanos and Power Twan will both start on the grid with cold tyres. Talking of tyres, mediums for the top three. Be right to start on the hards. So, your licence level is on, I think, in these races. I think so. Anyway, let me have a look. I'll have a look in a minute. Ryan Clemenson on the hards, then all mediums. Mitch, oh, he's not even in, is he? Cryptic and Banana, all starting on the softs. Crazy. I hope to God Mitch's car doesn't cause any issues, because he has just left and gone offline. Oh, he's back online. I hope he's back in the lobby. I hope so, anyway. Here we go. This is it. As they all line up, the silence. You could hear a pin drop on track now. And it will be Banana that lines up the final car. Here we go. This is it for round 9 here in Spain, powered by Sim Racing Setups. And it is lights out and away we go. Ryan Dyperveen in the McLaren does get a good start. So does Reese though. Fanfurness in the Ferrari is coming though. He is looking really speedy off the line around the outside in towards turn 1. And the Ferrari will move up to P2 as he gets through on the McLaren. Mitch is back in. Wheel to wheel goes Ryan Dyperveen and Fanfurness, Matteo Ravazza. Ryan Clemenson is through. B-Right's lost 2 places on them hard compounds. And Twitch Caxel will go up the inside of the Aston Martin driver, and he is up now 2 places. Be right down 3 on them cold hard compound tyres. Asbill, Gamer Matteo in the Racing Bull Powertrain trying to go up the inside of Asbill the American in the Racing Bull. He's down another position, but he's already up a couple. Banana is up 7 places in the Alpine. Alvaro Chabas up 3 as they go in towards turn 7 and 8 on. There's a huge crash, and that is a Racing Bull. I think that's a Haas of Malk off the track, and I think that might have caused damage to Alvaro Chabas. There's a yellow flag waving, but it is Reese that is 6 tenths clear at the start of this Grand Prix. B-Right is back through. He's fighting with Lewis, the Alpine driver, who is on the median compounds. B-Right is struggling to get up to speed. He's already down to P8. The championship leader losing many places off the starting grid, and he's now got Thanos behind him. There goes Matteo Ravazza in the Red Bull through on the McLaren and into the podium places. And Fanfurness only half a second behind Reese. Jeffy Boy and Alvaro Chabas both into the pit lane. Jeffy picks up a 10-second time penalty, and he'll have to get rid of that at his next pit stop. So yellow flags are waving. And that'll be Alvaro just getting a fixed wing. Thanos now all over the back of B-Right. Powertrain, Asbill, Bananarama. So this is really interesting. That is Cryptic that was trying to look up the inside. He's currently in at P14. It's really closely bunched in the middle of this pack. So Lewis W did get a good start as well, and he is through. B-Right just trying to stick with them. The hard compound tyres are so difficult to run around here. Matteo Ravazza is losing time to Fanfurness and Reese. Remember, Fanfurness will have that DRS. They are both on medium, so they're going to be very pacey off the starting line. And Fanfurness with that rear wing open, starting to catch up to Reese in that Mercedes. And this is exactly what the drivers behind, like B-Right, will want. They will want them to go battling. Mitch is into the pit lane already. And that is it for Mitch. He retires in the pit lane. So, Twitch Caxel, Lewis W, B-Right. Yeah, that's a real shame that there's so many people that wanted to race as well. Right, AE Cryptic on the back of Gamer Matteo, the Red Bull, on the Racing Bull. Down towards turn 5. And that is Jeffy and Alvaro up a position. Remember, points go down to 15 here in Formula 7. And around turn 9 towards turn 10. Remember that Ferrari with the DRS again. It'll be so hard for Reese to shake off the Ferrari of Fanfurness, especially with that DRS kicking in every time they go down a straight. That is Rafasi on Cryptic. Cryptic comes back up the inside. The Williams driver leaves in the room. Cryptic is back through, and Rafasi has to settle back into P15. Good battle in between the pair of them. What about Fanfurness? Here he comes with that DRS enabled into the slipstream. Rear wing open, moves over to the left-hand side. And Reese, very tactically, is making him go the long way round as they go in towards turn 1 and 2. And they do nearly touch the Mercedes and the Ferrari. Nothing to separate them. The Mercedes of Reese is back through, the reigning world champion. And still, literally millimetres between the two of them. Both on the same compound tyre. Around turn 4 they go. And then slightly back down here. And it is the Scuderia that leads here in Spain. Wow. That was brilliant. That is brilliant. So Reese will have that DRS now. And around turn 14 and 15. What about Cryptic on Rafasi? Oh, and he loses the rears. He snaps it. Rafasi is back through. And he did it last time as well. Now Reese, it's going to be deja vu here because Reese is going to have DRS. And he is. Cryptic has left the session. Hopefully he can get back in. And the Mercedes of Reese goes through. And they do swap around once again. Ryan Diverveen on the back of Matteo Ravazza cannot make the move stick at the moment. Twitch Caxel, here comes Lewis W. Be right in P8, remember on them hard compounds. Rafasi on Banana, the Williams on the Alpine, in towards turn 1. Banana goes deep. Todjo in the McLaren, Malk, AE Cryptic in the Red Bull. Seven tenths. Matteo Ravazza is starting to catch up as they continue to battle. They are going to be helping the drivers behind catch up, and that includes Matteo, Ryan Diverveen and Ryan Clemenson. Twitch Caxel, Lewis W and B right, and that is Malk in the Haas. Oh, and he's into the wall. He had an incident on the very first lap. He went off the track, and it looked like his car was on two wheels there. So Fanfinus will get the DRS. Look at Reese. He's really pushing to try and get away from that Ferrari driver, but he's not able to do it. And Fanfinus stays in that DRS range. And this is where they'll start to close back in again. Look at him, back to within 3 tenths of a second. It is incredible. Rafati's also left. Wow, what is going on here? It's definitely not a lobby issue. They need to sort this out, you know, EA. It's mad. Tier 1 is not realistic, mate. No. What do you mean realistic? Oh, so no. In terms of what way? No, you're all right, Han Solo. So yeah, it's standard damage and all that, but it does have ghosting. Realistic doesn't have ghosting, and realistic is not equal performance. Tier 1 is equal performance. That's the only difference. So, Fanfinus still, he'll get that rear wing open again. Lewis W on the back of Twitch Caxel, but they're locked in that DRS train now. What about Todjo on Ravazza? Well, Ravazza is not in his car at the moment. Powertran Fanos. Look at that DRS from Ryan Clemenson all the way down to Asville in P11. Todjo is through in the McLaren and up to P13. So look, Fanfinus once again. Reese is not able to shake off that DRS. And every single time he comes back within sort of 2 or 3 tenths of the driver, Ryan Diverveen. Matteo Ravazza is running really low downforce. Twitch Caxel, Lewis W, B right on them hard compounds. The only problem is with B right's strategy here is he started on the hard compounds, but he's now in the battling area. He's in that DRS train. He's stuck behind the drivers. So even though his tyres will be better, he's going to have to do a lot of overtaking and a lot of battling. That is Banana. Oh, Banana's round in the Alpine. He must have rode the curb and slipped it out. All the drivers really competitive. Twitch Caxel, Lewis W, B right, Fanos, Powertran and Asbel. Oh, going around towards turn 9. Oh, look at the racing bull at the back there. Asbel holding on. Not sure what happened to Malk. I know he had an incident on the first lap beyond, and then again just on the previous lap. So Fanfinus still staying within that DRS range. They have moved 2.4 away from Matteo Ravazza. Oh, sorry, guys. Matteo Ravazza has spun it. I was typing something on the laptop. Wait a minute. So, Fanfitness has lost that DRS to Reese. You know, I muted my mic to type something on the laptop because I like to clip during the race, and then I ended up forgetting to mute it back. So Matteo Ravazza down to P12 after spinning it. He was in the podium places. These mistakes happen, especially in Spain. These tyres are coming into that zone now. And this is where it starts to get tasty. So, Twitch Axel, 8 temps on the back of Ryan Clemenson. He'll get that DRS. That is Matteo Ravazza on Gamer Matteo, and the Red Bull is through on the Racing Bull. AE Cryptic is into the pit lane. Is he going for the undercut? Look at Fanfitness now, 2.1 behind Reese. He's lost the DRS, and Reese has just started to take away. And that's exactly what the drivers behind did not want. B Wright is up to P7 on them hard compounds, but he's not making any extra gains here. So, what do the drivers do in this situation? Banana picks up a time penalty as well, speeding into the pit lane. 10 seconds for him. Twitch Caxel, still 6 tenths behind Ryan Clemenson. He's having a great Grand Prix here, Caxel, in that Mercedes. Up to P5, then B Right, Fanos, Power Twan, Asbill just dropping outside of that DRS range momentarily. There we go. When do the drivers pit here? So here comes Twitch Caxel on Ryan Clemenson into the slipstream. B Right is from Lewis W. And Twitch Caxel moves over to the outside line. In towards turn 1. The Aston and the Mercedes go toe to toe. And it is Twitch Caxel that gets through and in towards P4. Great move from the Mercedes AMG driver. So Ryan down to P5, he's got his teammate behind him. This actually could work well for B Right if his teammate decides to say, hey, go ahead, I know you're on a different strategy. So we shall see. Albert Sparks picking up that 3-second time penalty. Todd Joe picking up a time penalty as well. So what about Gamer Matteo on Matteo Ravazza? It's a tongue twister. Ryan Clemenson is chasing down Twitch Caxel now as they're about to go into that DRS range, and Twitch Caxel just peels off into the pit lane, and he is going for the undercut. So Twitch Caxel goes in, and he is the only driver actually that's going in here. Here comes B Right on his teammate, the two Aston Martins. They've got to think about this now. They've got to think about strategy. They are well in this constructors fight. Fanos on the back of Lewis W, the Alpine, defending against the Williams. Then you've got the Sauber and the Racing Bull. Tojo is front, Twitch Caxel. Where does Caxel come out here? Jeffy Boy is coming round. Twitch Caxel is going to come out into a lot of racing room, a lot of clean air. Fanford is now 3.5 seconds behind the race leader, the defending world champion of Reese. Right there with me. Oh no. Sorry, bear with. Oh, and that is the Mercedes. Who was that then? So that is Gamer Matteo, Ryan Dipervine and Matteo Ravazza that all go into the pit lane. So Twitch Caxel, has the undercut worked? It has for now. Ryan Dipervine is on his way out. So Twitch Caxel is going to come out just behind the McLaren. So it is still on for the undercut for these drivers. And then you've got to think about B. Wright. He's on the hard compound. Completely different strategy. The mediums are lasting a long time for these drivers. They are so much better though. The mediums. They just feel so much better when you're racing. So Tojo on Ravazza. Oh, and he just rides onto the curb there. Tojo picks up a little bit of gravel onto his front left. Oh, and then the McLaren behind him, and Ryan Dipervine does the exact same thing. Remember, Ryan has pitted. He's on the undercut strategy. He does not want to get bogged down by his teammate in front. And I'm sure his teammate will know that. Cryptic is back out. Lewis W is into the pit lane. So Cryptic having problems. B. Wright is through. So the Aston Martin drivers trade places. So teamwork is well underway in the Aston Martin garage. Where does Lewis come out? And he's going to come out way behind Ryan and Twitch Caxel. What about Matteo Ravazza? Here comes Lewis W in the Alpine. Matteo Ravazza, you can see him just at the top of the hill. And he does come out, Lewis, in front of the Red Bull driver. So the undercut not working there for Matteo. You don't have to retire in the pit lane, Cryptic, if you can carry on. Oh, Tojo is round. Twitch Caxel and Ryan Dipervine are going at it. Remember, Ryan is on the undercut. The Mercedes and the McLaren. And Ryan will be fuming. He'll be smacking that visor in frustration that he's not able to get through and past that Mercedes. Tojo has spun it and lost a bit of time. Ryan Dipervine needs to get through on Twitch Caxel for this undercut to work. Reese and Fanfinus are into the pit lane. That means that B. Wright will be your race leader on lap 15 of the Catalonia Grand Prix. Reese and Fanfinus just getting their wheels, their fresh rubbers on, but they are going to come out behind Ryan Clemenson, Fanos, Powertran, Asbel. Potentially, you might see Ryan Clemenson, who's on the same strategy as B. Wright, try to hold up Reese or Fanfinus for his teammate here. Could we see sort of a Sergio Perez-esque situation happen here in the Spanish Grand Prix? Tojo is into the pit lane. Matteo Ravazza is through. Twitch Caxel is also through on Rafasi in the Williams. Then you've got Ryan Dipervine, who is getting muddied down by the drivers behind. This is not what Ryan wants at this stage in the Grand Prix. But all these points will count. Here comes Powertran on the back of Fanos, who's 2 seconds behind the two Aston Martin drivers. Reese has got 8 seconds to catch up to Asbel. Hey, Cryptic retires in the pit lane. Thank you so much, Cryptic. So Powertran on Fanos in towards turn 10. It is all to play for here. It really is. So around turn 12 at Sabadell. In towards Europe car at turn 13. And into the pit lane goes Fanos and Powertran. 2 less cars for Reese and Fanfinus to get past. Asbel does stay out and Fanos picks up a 10-second time penalty. I'm pretty sure he did the exact same thing last week as well. Really unfortunate that for Fanos. And with a click of the fingers, it can all turn on its head just like that. So Reese is through, so is Fanfinus, and here comes Twitch Caxel on Fanfinus, and Twitch Caxel is taking no prisoners as he collides with the Ferrari. He loses the back end. Fanfinus also loses time, and the Mercedes, who was trying to hold up Fanfinus for his teammate. So we've already seen a bit of Sergio Perez-esque teamwork going on between the Mercedes, as Twitch Caxel was trying to hold up Fanfinus to give his teammate of Reese a little bit more freedom in front. And Reese will take it. Nearly 6 seconds now in front of Fanfinus, and they're both on the same strategy. This is quite remarkable. So Reese is trying to prove a point here. Ryan Dipervine is through on Rafasi, who will just try and stay with them. Powertran and Fanos both on their strategies. Now onto them fresh hards. And remember, B. Wright has to go onto the mediums yet. Oh, and that is a driver behind. That is an Alpine. That is Banana that spun it and into the gravel at turn 14 at New Holland. B Right leads. Here comes Ryan Clemenson, who puts on the brake pedal, resetting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. So 2 tenths is the gap between Ryan and B Right. Now, what does Ryan do here? If Ryan thinks that he's quicker than B Right, does he just stay behind him? The two Aston Martin drivers, they're on the exact same strategy. They're both fighting for the constructors. Potentially, they're both fighting for the Drivers' Championship as well. Let's not count Ryan Clemenson out of this battle yet. You know, he is very quick. And he's on, he's on 27 points. So he would need some really good results till the end of the season. But that might be a good thing for B Right. The fact that his teammate isn't in the battle. Because if his teammate was, that situation would be completely different. So they are both on the hard. 16 laps to go. Surely they've got to stay out for a couple more laps yet. Yeah, they both are going to stay out again. And this is where Ryan will get that DRS on his teammate. Did he swap around or does he pull out again? Ryan Clemenson on the last lap. He did pull back right at the very end of the straight. And once again, he does the same thing. And you can see Asbel and Rees just at the top of the hill now starting to catch up. And I tell you what, B Right and Ryan Clemenson pretty shortly are going to be a pit stop behind Rees when he catches up. So this is drama here. Twitzkax on the Mercedes went battling with Fanford, who's 6.5 behind Rees. What about Fanos on the back of Powertwan? He's 3 seconds behind Lewis W. That is a yellow flag. And that is an Alpine once again, I think. It is. It's Banana. What is going on with Banana? He's struggling here. Here comes Rees on the back of Asbel. Asbel in the Racing Bull. And through goes the Mercedes. A slight hold up by the Racing Bull, but not too much. Rees will thank his lucky stars that that's gone according to plan. And Rees in the Mercedes. Up to P3, 4.5 seconds behind Ryan and 5 behind B Right. There goes Lewis W on Rafferty, sorry. I was looking at the time at the top right. So Rafferty in the Williams has been overtaken. Asbel is into the pit lane now for that strategy call. Get them fresh tyres on. Ben and Ryan are doing a one-stop, but I think Rees is also doing a one-stop, no? So into the pit lane is Asbel. Ryan Clemenson once again on the back of his teammate. I don't know, will Rees's tyres get into the end of the race actually? What are they, 20% with 14 laps to go? Potentially. Yeah, hard to really strong. That is Matteo Ravazza on the back of Fanos. Powertwan got through. So the Red Bull. Ryan Clemenson. The two Aston Martins are having a really strong Grand Prix here, and that is B Right into the pit lane, and Ryan Clemenson stays out. So B Right is committed, and Rees will stay out. Surely they're not going to do this. Is Ryan Clemenson staying out to hold up Rees for B Right's overcut? Onto the mediums goes B Right. Fanford is through, 5.9 behind Rees. Twitzkax is there. Ryan Dipavine, B Right. Lewis W is through in the Alpine. Here comes Powertwan. B Right might even come out behind the Kick Sauber of Powertwan. That is not where he wanted to come out. He's come out in that freeway battle, and he's come out right behind Matteo Ravazza. So B Right strategy call here. This is not great for him. He's come out in a freeway train battle between Matteo Ravazza, Fanos and Powertwan. And B Right is going to be a lot quicker, but he's going to have to navigate through these really quickly. And he's going to have to do it pretty sharpish as Matteo Ravazza goes up the inside of the Williams of Fanos. And they are wheel to wheel out of turn 6, down towards turn 7 and 8. Who's in front? The Williams, the Red Bull. They both tag each other, but they keep it clean. And they both come out unscathed. And B Right is watching all this unfold in front of him and just losing time after time here. And that is Ryan Clemenson now into the pit lane, so he's not going to hold up Reese. And if I was Ryan Clemenson, I don't know if I would do this now, knowing that my teammate has just come out in this huge DRS train. That means that Reese will now go back into the lead of the Grand Prix. He's not going to be held up by the other Aston Martin driver. And be right, on these mediums, he's stuck where he did not want to be. And Ryan Clemenson is going to come out into the back of this train, maybe even behind Gamer Matteo, and he does. Ryan Clemenson is down to P11. The hard to medium strategy, I can't help but think this is not going to work with the train that they fell into here and the traps. And he's going to go up the inside. Did he get damage? Matteo Ravazza trying to cover off the Aston Martin. And he didn't get damaged, luckily. So, Ryan Clemenson is through on Gamer Matteo. He is not messing around. So, be right. This is the problem. When you pit and you go for that overcut, you leave yourself open to falling into these traps of cars and these trains behind. And unfortunately, when Be Right is going to be his paciest and quickest on track on these fresh mediums, it's all going to be undone by being stuck in these battling cars. Look, you can see he's got so much more pace, but he just cannot get through. Around turn 14 goes the Aston Martin driver. And then you've got Ryan Clemenson also now catching up. And yeah, down the straight, there's nothing that the Aston Martin can do now. And look at the Red Bull, so much slower in towards turn 1. And the two Aston Martins now. This strategy might not work. In fact, Reese potentially could even go for the pit stop now and catch back up to them. Ryan Clemenson and B. Wright really close on track. Matteo Ravazza, Fanos, Powertwan, all stuck in that train. It's a difficult track to get that overtake on. And the two Aston Martins are finding out why. Yeah, I think they should have probably pitted a lap earlier maybe. But still, the other drivers have got a long way to go. You look at Fanfinis and Reese, they've got a long way to go on them hards, but at this rate, the mediums aren't going to get them very far either. So be right, Matteo Ravazza is into the pit lane finally. A bit of relief for the two Aston Martin drivers as Matteo pits. So does Gamer Matteo, but he speeds into the pit lane. What about Fanos on Powertwan? Ryan Clemenson picks up a time penalty. So, Twitch Caxel will have to pit again. Ryan Dabavine will probably have to pit again, potentially. Potentially all the drivers in front might have to actually pit again, to be fair. That's why the Aston Martins, this overcut was so important to get into some clean air. But it has not worked out. What about Malk on the back of Matteo? Fanfinis now 7.4 behind Reese. Lewis W in the Alpine having a really strong Grand Prix here with 9 laps remaining. And them hard compounds, they're on around sort of 40%. That is Twitch Caxel into the pit lane. And I don't think that's a bad decision there for Twitch Caxel. Because he might be a lot quicker than these other drivers come the end of the Grand Prix. Here comes Fanos on the back of Powertwan. B. Wright and Ryan Clemenson also stuck right behind them. And you look at the tyres. You've got to think B. Wright and Ryan are basically just going at the same pace as the guys in front who are on 8-lap-old hards, essentially. They've not benefited at all off them fresh mediums. Not one bit. Into the pit lane goes Todjo. Alvaro Chabas in the Haas. And then Jeffy Boy in the Kick Sauber. Not sure what's happened with Jeffy. Banana in the Alpine. And that is Todjo. Out in P15. What about B right on Thanos? Famfness just plodding along. Remember, he's second in the Drivers' Championship. Can be right, get a good exit to get past the Williams driver. Just doesn't look like he's got the straight line speed to get it done. He hasn't. The straight line speed is just not there for the three-time world champion. So around the long right-hander at turn 3. Is this where he goes for the moves? Matteo Ravazza getting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix on lap 25. 8 laps remaining. This might be it for B right, the Aston Martin driver. He'll have to go around the outside. He did lag there, a little snap from the Williams, and he's holding on, and the Aston Martin driver cannot get through, and this will only be frustrating the former world champion, and that is Powertran into the gravel, the Kick-Sauber driver, and that has opened up the door, and that one slight mistake might be the difference between B right potentially getting on the podium and potentially not getting on the podium, because now that Powertran is out of the way and he's made that mistake, he'll get DRS on Thanos, who won't get DRS, and he'll be able to move into P5 and start to track down Reese in front. That mistake is huge for the Aston Martin driver. So here we go, B right, he'll have that DRS, yellow flags are waving, who is that? So the former world champion with the rear wing open, but look at the straight line speed of Powertran behind. He's going to catch up to B right here, down in towards turn 1. The Aston Martin driver just stays in front, but the straight line speed of B right is absolutely killing him here. And Ryan Clemenson tried to make a move on Powertran. The two Aston Martins, they will be fuming about this Grand Prix, but the drivers in front will be buzzing. Reese in the Mercedes especially, Fanfitz in the Ferrari will also be very happy, and Ryan Dijkhoff in the McLaren will be music to his ears, listening to the struggles that the Aston Martin drivers are having in the middle of this pack. So Lewis in the Alpine, 2.4 behind Ryan Dijkhoff. That is B right on Thanos. Can he finally get through? And Jeffy Boy picks up a time penalty. This is where B right needs to get it, but he's easing off the throttle when he goes around, and he just cannot get the speed down the straight. But he's a lot closer this time with that DRS enabled. Surely he's got to burn that battery. He's going to go around the outside, and the Aston Martin driver in towards turn 1 is through on the Williams, and through goes Powertran as well. Thanos in the Williams and Powertran in the Kick-Sauber, wheel to wheel. Powertran goes out wide but gets the move done on the Williams. What about Ryan Clemenson? He's going to try his luck. In towards turn 4 we go, and he switches it back up the inside, and Ryan Clemenson in the Aston Martin. What a move that was, but Thanos is not going to let him off that easily. Down in towards turn 5 we go, still nothing to separate them, and the Williams driver is going to have the inside line in towards turn 7. He does go through, and Ryan has to settle back in for P8, and he's all over the rear diffuser of Thanos in front. The Greekman just holding on. Reese setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix on God knows how many old lapped hards. That is crazy stuff there from Reese, setting the fastest lap on, I think it's 13 lap old hards. Yeah, that's mad. So B right 9 tenths clear of Powertran. He needs to shake him off through the chicanes. 5 laps remaining here in Catalonia. That is a McLaren just coming out of the pit lane. And Ryan Clemenson is through on Thanos. Yeah, no problem, Todjo. You're all good, mate. Thank you for joining. The battle has been mainly focused in the middle areas between the Aston Martins, but that is where the battle's going on. That's where all the overtakes are happening. the gaps are quite spread out now. So Asbill on the back of Thanos. He's 2 seconds behind Ryan Clemenson. I can't help but think the only way that the two Aston Martins are going to try and get a podium out of this is the tyres falling off that cliff or a puncture at this point. That is Asbill. That is through the American driver on the man from Greece. Well done for Asbill. He's having a good race here in Tier 1 into P8. That's some good points on the board. And Be Right is catching up to Lewis, so he's still got the pace, but he is like 21 seconds behind Reese with 4 laps to go. This strategy has not done well for him at all, or Ryan Clemenson. I mean, look at the look at it from the leader. 21.4 seconds behind the leader and 24.0 behind the leader for Ryan Clemenson. Crazy stuff. That is what happens when you don't get the strategy right. It just goes to show, doesn't it? So, Be Right catching up to Lewis. Let's have a look at the tyres for the drivers. So 65% wear for Reese and Fanfrenes with 3 laps to go. 58% wear for Power Twan and only 35 on the mediums for Ryan Clemenson. So that could be the difference. There goes Be Right on Lewis W. Moves over to the left-hand side, and the Aston Martin driver is up to P4 and only 2.3 behind Ryan Dijperveen. The podium might actually still be on here for the Aston Martin driver due to the fact that he's still so much quicker and the tyres are so much more worn for the hard runners. The same for a couple of these other drivers at the back. Thinking about Twitch Caxel as well, who's on them fresh softs. Fresh softs is a bit of a mad one, but Asbill. My hat goes off to him. Ryan Clemenson is still not able to get past Power Twan though. And I think Ryan Clemenson will be in that position now where he's just like, I'm not even chancing this at this point now. Oh really? By me back. Jesus, that's a big step. Oh, Gamer Matteo is through on Rafati. So Gamer Matteo, the Italian driver, is through Ryan Clemenson. That's a big step by me back. The one thing I would say is if you're going to quit your job to go sim racing, I'd save up first before you do that so you can support yourself, and then I would start streaming on every platform as well, clipping like crazy. Ryan Clemenson, and here down the inside goes Ryan Clemenson on Power Twan, and finally the Aston Martin driver is through on the Kick Sauber. So can he start to make inroads now on Lewis? And the Aston Martin of Ryan Clemenson is through. But yeah, I would say make sure you're clipping all the time. It is tough. I did it back in 2019, 2020. I started streaming Fortnite every single night for hours on end for a whole year. I was smashing it eventually anyway, but it took hours, years. And eventually I was doing really well on YouTube. That's why I have YouTube now. I changed the name to F7. But it was going really well, but it eventually got so tedious that I just give it up and I just wanted to enjoy myself, and that's why I started Formula 7. It is hard, man. Yeah, that's fine. If you're good to support yourself, you're good to support yourself. Just make sure that that you need to promote yourself really well, man. But I'm sure you'll smash it. You're a likeable guy. So Be Right is now chasing down Ryan Dijperveen. He'll get that DRS, and the Aston Martin driver is coming strong on the Papaya McLaren. He'll move to the right and left hand side, and the McLaren cuts him off. Oh, and the Aston Martin has a huge snap, and Lewis W nearly gets the move done, and Be Right holds on for dear life as Ryan Clemenson goes through on Lewis W, and the two Aston Martin drivers now up to P4 and P5. 75% wear of them hard compound tyres. Reese and Fanfners will have their fingers and toes crossed. Gamer Matteo is back through on Rafferty, the Williams driver, being overtaken by the Racing Bull. Will these drivers get to the end? Here comes B Wright on the back of Ryan Dyperveen. Look at the graining on them tyres. Will they hold on? Will they get to the end? Fanfners in the Ferrari. Has he got a flat tyre? Oh, Jesus, I thought he had a puncture there. So, Ryan Clemenson is from B Wright. Oh, Ryan Clemenson has snapped it on Ryan Dyperveen and B Wright goes through. That is huge. Wow, Ryan Dyperveen might have just lost the podium. A little tag from Ryan Clemenson. That is massive. And there is a driver that spun it as well. That is Banana again. Fanfners and Reese are still holding on. 76% tyre wear on them hard compounds. But they have held up. And they have held up strong here. B Wright is finally back into the podiums. Matteo Ravazza on Twitch Caxel, the Red Bull driver, moves into the top 10. So on to the final lap. Powertran behind Lewis W. Ryan Clemenson and Ryan Dyperveen going at it once again. Ryan Dyperveen is just in front of the Aston Martin of Ryan Clemenson. Wheel to wheel they go. Ryan Clemenson gets his foot down earlier. The McLaren and Aston in towards turn 7. Ryan Dyperveen pulls out and the Alpine of Lewis W. pulls through and up to P5. Reese will come through here in Catalonia to win the Spanish Grand Prix. Fanfners in the Ferrari is going to come through to take P2. Powertran in the Kick Sauber is from Ryan Dyperveen, who's now down to P7. But it is Fanfners that comes through to take P2. B Wright in the Aston Martin comes around the final chicane to take P3 and take a podium. Ryan Clemenson will take P4, but Lewis will take it off him. And Powertran potentially as well. Ryan Dyperveen will be in the stewards room absolutely after this race. But Ryan Clemenson drops down behind Ryan Dyperveen. But it is Reese, Fanfners and B Wright, the drivers that are 3-2-1 in the Drivers' Championships, are 1-2-3 here in Spain. Wow. So there you have it. Reese is your race winner. Fastest lap goes to Matteo Ravazza. Oh, I didn't even see what that was then. So Reese takes the race win. Fanfners in P2. B Wright takes P3 and Lewis W in P4. Powertran in P5. Ryan Dyperveen takes P6. Ryan Clemenson in P7. Asbill in P8. Matteo Ravazza in P9 with the fastest lap. Twitch Caxel in P10. Fanos in P11. Rafasi in P12. So he's from Chile. Gamer Matteo in P13, Malk in P14, Jeffrey Boy P15, Alvaro P16, Banana P17, Todjo P18, then comes Cryptic and Mitch. So I just need to update Rafasi. There we go. So Reese. Oh, it's not letting me advance. And that means it's not collecting the race results. That's annoying. Oh, it has collected them, sorry. Right, let me just throw these in. Thank you for watching, by the way, guys. Appreciate that. So Ryan Dyperveen was in the other McLaren. Mercedes was Caxel in P10. The Red Bull in P19, AE Cryptic. And Banana, Alron, Jeff Game, Matteo Rafasi, Fanos, Caxel, Matteo Asbill, Ryan Pochuan. Yeah, brilliant. Okie dokie. Driver of the day, I'm going to give to Lewis W. I thought he drove a really good race, really strong race. So well done. 1 minute, let me look at the chat. Sorry guys, there's a few things I have to do. Yeah, I can do interviews, man. So just bear with us, guys, whilst I get everything set up. I've also got all the I've got like 2 different apps that I've got to put all the standings in and everything that I've got to clip and send after the race. There's so much that I have to do straight away. Right, 1 second. Sorry guys, bear with. Right, so we'll start off with our interviews with the driver that finished in P3. B right, how are you, mate?
Hello, Nathan. How you doing, mate?
I'm all good, mate. How are you? How was that one?
Struggling. Yeah, that was just simply struggling. I just lost too much time on the hards. If I was trying to be planning to stay in the top 4, not to be losing 4 positions backwards.
Yeah.
No, just sort of damage limitations, really. I had pace on the mediums and not on the hards, unfortunately. I was hoping the guys in front might have got a puncture. I didn't know the medium hard was possible. So, but they've made it possible and they did great.
Yeah, so you obviously got stuck behind the train as well. Mm-hmm. So when you pitted and you came out on the mediums, you were going to be pacey at the start with the mediums. Was that frustrating to be there?
It was, yeah, because I just simply couldn't get past them. The problem with this game is there's dirty air and not getting past in the train. I think a lot of us will know that the esports guys have been complaining. You just can't overtake, even when you're in the train. It's impossible. So I knew when I lost positions, that was my race done. You got to have a good start and a little bit of a better ending. I've actually had the better ending and not the good start, managed to get P3 in the end, so minimise the points. There's only 8 points lost to Reese, and I think it's like 3 to Famp. So I'm happy with that. Still leading the championship by a long way, and with the new point system, it benefits me more than it does Reese probably winning all these races. But I'll probably get my chance along the line in the season. So I'm calm and just see what happens.
Yeah, consistency is key, as they say.
Yeah, exactly. Just got to keep my head. I've been a little bit probably not too energized to play the game, really, just with recent events. But no, take nothing away from Reese and Famp today. They drove absolute race, and when Reese is coming into a race, he's most likely to win and to get the pole position as well. So no, huge congrats to him and to Famp as well.
Yeah, well done, Ben. Well, it was a great result, a great comeback, got to the podium in the end, so well done on a great race, mate.
Cheers, Nathan, appreciate it.
Cheers, Ben. So we move on to, is Fanfinus in here? I don't think Fanfinus is in here, is he? Right, okay, we will move on to your race winner, the defending world champion, Reese. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. Happy with that one.
Yeah, it was a good race, mate. Just talk us through that one.
Yeah, well, qualifying was a little bit frustrating. Obviously, Q1, there was a lot of traffic, so I had to go out twice. Used this same set of tyres, so it didn't bother me that much. And then Q2, I had problems with my upshifting paddle, so that's my first run. I was just right at the back, so I had to choose to use an extra set of tyres. And then I disconnected in Q3, my first run, so I didn't have a banker lap to go off, so I sort of had to not take it cautiously, but I had to make sure I wasn't going pushing to the absolute fullest. So there was probably another 2 attempts in that lap, but it doesn't matter. Still qualified on top.
Still.
And then the race
win,
the race start. Obviously, Fanfinus on PC has a massive advantage when it comes to race starts. His lights go out quicker. There's not much you can do about that. So I was more focused about covering him off than Ryan. Chose to be the right decision in the end. And then me and Fanfinus sort of pulled away. I think me and Fanfinus are the quickest 2 drivers on this grid at the minute. And yeah, I think we really proved that today. And then I just noticed in looking through the gaps once we were going going through, and he was losing most of his time in sector 3. So I just knew if I pulled away and the end of the first DRS zone had about a 4 or 5 tenth gap, I knew I'd be out of his DRS, which eventually was the case, and then I knew I had the pace to pull away. Gap was about 11 seconds, I think, at the end. So yeah, overall, I think a well executed race.
Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant, mate. And as you said, to know that the driver is losing that time throughout a certain sector, and then just put your foot down through there is what separates the drivers. It was a brilliant drive. I mean, the strategy was perfect. Obviously, you started on the mediums, and then you went on to the hards. Obviously, you and Famp were having that battle, and then you started to pull away from him. Were you concerned at any point? Sorry, I got a bit of something in my throat. Were you concerned at any point about the drivers behind? Because you had them 2 Aston Martin drivers of Ryan and B. Wright on the overcut. And then, obviously, I don't know if you were listening to the stream. They got caught in that DRS trade. Surely at that point you must have been thinking, this is in the bag regardless at this point.
Well, to be honest, I was fairly confident once after the first lap, because I'm pretty sure it was a 1.5 second gap from me and Famp anyway. And then I knew the race win was sort of there for me to lose once I pulled out of Famp from his DRS and just kept on gaining. I knew overall it was going to be a one-stop. Tyres were close to puncturing both laps, both stints. I was about 80-90% on both, but at the end of both stints, I just coasted it through. I just knew I had to be safe because I had the gaps both times. I wasn't afraid of being undercutted, so but I also found a little a tweak in the setup that helps with your tyre wear. So I found that out today. It shouldn't really make sense, but it does. So that will certainly help me going forward. Overall good race. Obviously.
Yeah, overall a good race. It was a fantastic drive, mate. One last question. Going forward in the championship, you are the defending world champion. The gap is now obviously been closed down by a few more points. Are you looking forward to sort of the ending to the championship, and what's the thoughts going forward?
Of course. Well, we talk about consistency. The lowest race position I finished is P2, so I don't think you can get more consistent than that. Obviously the new point system. I think if you're only gaining, I think 5 or 10 points. I'm not sure what the gap is on P3 what you gain. I don't think it's 10 though. Correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say it's 8. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit difficult to close the gap down. But I know I still will win this championship, and I really do believe that. I really do think.
Man. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. I really do think at the minute Famp is my main competition. I just feel like it's just going to be us fighting through the end. I feel like obviously when other drivers like Dennis comes back, that'll obviously make things difficult. But we know how strong Famfinus is on his day. He's a great driver. So
absolutely.
we'll look forward to the end of the season. But I'm still fairly confident that I will win this championship. I mean, I've got 5 race wins now, and I've finished 6 races, I believe, or 7 races. So can't really complain.
No, absolutely not, Reese. Well, it was an absolute pleasure to call the race again. It was a great battle, a great strategy, a great race IQ on show once again. So well done on a brilliant race result, mate.
Yeah, cheers, Nathan. And thank you for comms once again.
Cheers. Thanks, Reese. So there you have it, your race winner, and 1, 2, 3 once again, the same as the championship in this race once more. Well done to all the podium sitters. Reese with the race win, the podium for Famfinus and B. Wright. Thank you all so much for tuning in and watching. I really appreciate it. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you all so much for your support over the weekend. It's been a fantastic day of racing. All have a great week, and I'll see you on Wednesday for Realistic.